So Zero Two is actually bleeding red blood now. Is she actually becoming human? What's up, everyone? It's your boy Scott. Welcome to the Scott Reports. Today we're here to talk about Darling and Franxx episode 20, back after a week break, and it felt like it was so long of a wait that we had to get this one. Now, I admit it took me down a little bit to get a behind the scenes episode after what you gave me in episode 19, and then the wait was just so big for this one. But either way, we're back, and boy did it come back with a bang, because there's no format here. I'm just going to go right to the heart of the matter. That twist that we got in this episode, it caught me off guard, but a lot of things it didn't catch me off guard because I kind of expected some things to happen or something of this nature to come along, being a longtime mech watcher. But let's get this straight. Let's get some things in order here. So now we have a battle between some invaders called Vrim, who were after the Klaxosaurs who hid out on Earth, and humanity is just in the middle. Okay, I'm just as lost, confused, and shocked as you guys were. Fuck it, I'll go ahead and say it. So yeah, humanity got in the middle of a very big battle that was going on here between Vrim and the Klaxosaurs, and kind of got a sense that the Klaxosaurs wasn't going to be wrong once we started learning more about them, and they started uncovering the secrets that was behind them and the Klaxosaur princess, and getting the backstory with Dr. Frank and everything like that. But it looks like the direction that the story is going now, in order for humanity to survive, they're going to have to work with the Klaxosaurs, because Ape doesn't give a shit. Ape's ready to blow the planet and tuck tail and run, because oh man, it was all part of their master plan, is actually think that the Klaxosaur princess is going to be the savior of humanity right now. She's like, this is my plan, and you're not going to take this one too, like you did when we had to run away from you guys. We tried to get away, you found us, and now the battle is upon us. And get this, that Ape was the enemies all along. Again, that's something that shouldn't be shocking to anyone. We saw the shadiness there. We saw the bad intentions that they had, but everything that was done here was orchestrated by them under the guise of Ape, and humanity fell for it. They got played like a fiddle. They got played hook, line, and sinker. I mean, the killing of the Klaxosaurs, the humanity program, the farming, the manga, which is the life force of the Klaxosaurs, you know, the creation of the Franxx. All of this stuff was done in order to weaken the Klaxosaurs for this invasion, for Vrim to come by, and they used humanity's greed. They used humanity's greediness to get what they want. They effectively done that and won the day because of that. You know, like, they offered immortality to these humans. They ate it up, or they was going to have to live on a war-torn, you know, planet. Either way it goes, Ape, aka Vrim, was going to win in this. And yeah, you could kind of say it's all humanity's fault, because they gave into their greed and gave up everything that they was in order to achieve what these people were selling to them for their own goals, to take out these Klaxosaurs. You know, they gave up, you know, childbirth. They gave up, you know, aging. They got kids being cloned just so they could pilot these Franxx. And it was all part of their plan all along. Yeah, this is going to divide the anime community. It's going to completely divide everyone, because I can kind of see how people are going to hate this episode, because this is episode 20. So for them to pull something like this big out of nowhere, I can see why people think it's bullshit. I mean, I kind of do at the same time. But because I don't really want to sit here and say I wasn't 100% fooled, but just that I felt that the Klaxosaurs wasn't going to be wrong once we started learning about the Klaxosaur princess, is why, you know, in a way I could see this coming. In a way it works, because we found out what she was fighting for, because there was so much mystery behind it. And, you know, this episode basically, you know, it focused on them trying to get this star entity, this big Klaxosaur weapon. You know, Apes were going to send the kids out, and again, they were using what the kids want. You know, Hero and the rest of them are like, we're done with you guys after this battle. We don't want anything else to do with you. And they're like, good, because if we achieve this and the Klaxosaurs are gone, or at least that's what they're going to tell them to achieve their means, And they were going to use Strelitzia as the core. It was like, you need to go down there, you need to control this thing, and we're going to use this weapon to destroy the Klaxosaurs. That's going to be end of the battle. But the Klaxosaur princess had her own agenda, beating them off at the path, forcefully kicking out Zero Two, kissing Hero, taking over the Strelitzia, changing his color and everything, going into the core. And it was also revealed that the Klaxosaur princess was 01. Imagine that. She was like the first. And all of this stuff is coming to light now, it being acknowledged and everything, and people overhearing this stuff, where she knew full well that Zero Two was a clone, and they created Zero Two in order to achieve this goal before the Klaxosaurs can do it. And the Klaxosaur princess just straight up told her that, like, you're being used, you're being played, so I'm going to take your darling, because I really don't need a second person to pilot this thing, but if it's going to make it better, I'll go ahead and do it. So she basically kidnapped Hero. Zero Two's injured, going into the core of the Klaxosaur, and that's exactly what Vrem wanted, because they said it's triggered to whenever she was going to get into this, it was going to self-destruct. And they tried to make it seem like, you know, at first it was like, oh, well, looks like our plan didn't work, so we're just going to blow the planet because who cares? We're rich, we're going to get out of here. But to find out that they were the driving force of this alien invasion that came out of nowhere, until, you know, the Klaxosaur princess took a little bit of time to explain what was going on, that was wild. And again, I can see why some people are absolutely going to love this episode, or some people are going to hate it. The anime community is probably going to turn their knives on this series now, because that's what it does. All it's going to take is one popular anime-tuber, and then everybody's going to say this series is shit now, and I don't agree with that, even though this was a little bit of a pull for them to do this right now. And that was just the tip of the iceberg, or should I say the end of the iceberg, because there's still things that are being revealed. Like, we got the history of the Franxx in this episode, how they were created. I mean, the magma energy, which is part of the Klaxosaur's decomposition, and as well as their evolution, that all plays a role in this as well, that the humans, or should I say ape, or should I say Vrem, was farming in order to fuel their immortality. We come to find out that that was part of the Klaxosaur process. Like, once they die off, one or two things happen. They either decomposed and became magma energy for them to flow back into each other to create life, or they evolve, and then a male and a female will get together and pilot an entity, which is what the Franxx are based off of. So okay, we can finally go ahead and officially say it now. Franxx are basically Avas. Okay, there it is. But this series pours so much inspiration for Ava that goes without saying. I mean, that was already hinted last week. We just got the confirmation that that was what was going on this week, and we get to see the shock and the horror on everybody's faces, especially people like Zorome, you know, who was like, wait a minute, so all these times we were piloting monsters, but things get bigger from there, because we found out that the Klaxosaurs, again, the Klaxosaurs used males and females. They were basically being piloted by other Klaxosaurs too. So when we go back to a few episodes back, when we saw that being, that smaller form that came out in the source of the magma, and we were wondering what that was actually a male and a female inside these Klaxosaurs they're killing, just like how the kids are piloting the Franxx. So that got a little bit scary, that got weird. So all this time they've been using Klaxosaurs to kill Klaxosaurs. Wow, I mean, if you saw Evangelion, that's not a big shock to you, but I can imagine if this is someone's first rodeo of getting a mindfuck like that. And with Trigger, you know, you can expect, if not a very entertaining ending, it's going to be a good ending. I still have confidence that they're going to pull this all together and make it work in these next 4 episodes. And there's still little things that we got, there are little big things that we still got in this episode. For example, the kids have a new caretaker. They really just took Nana out the picture. People are asking about her, and they're like, Nana, oh yeah, she's fine, she'll be back. But who knows what they've done to her? She's, I won't think that they went that dark and say she's dead right now, but she's definitely out the picture, and she probably got her mind wiped, just like how we saw with Kokoro and Mitsuru. And for a minute there, I thought Dr. Franxx was actually showing some compassion, but he wasn't. He was actually getting a boner of everything that was going on right now. Like, every time something was coming up, he was like, yes, finally, this is what I've been waiting for all this time. So there goes redemption with him. But there's also this gigantic spear that's being made out of magma energy that humanity's planning on using, and just by the color scheme of it, we already know that Zero Two and Hero are going to get a hold of that thing, and it's going to be crucial in the final battle. But the biggest thing right now is Kokoro. We have to protect this young girl. We have to, even if we don't get our memories back, we have to protect her because she's got morning sickness out here. So that means that that child is still brewing within her. And for that, we must protect her, fight off all of the death flags because she is the most important part to humanity right now because she's going to start the new cycle of things being done the way humans should have before they were manipulated. Can you even say manipulated right now? Because they did this all on their own. But Kokoro and Mitsuru are the key to the future, so we have to keep them alive at all costs. And of course, I have to praise Zero too. As a character, she's developed so much, and it was heartwarming. It was heartwarming every time we saw her and Hiro together, and just seeing how far she's come along all together. Like, for example, she's wearing the white suit that everybody in Plantation 32 is wearing now instead of her classic red. Now, I am going to miss that red one, but this one has more symbolism because now she's fully been accepted as part of the team. She sees these guys as family and they see her as family as well, standing up to those scummy ass nines and everybody had her back. It was just beautiful to see that. And just like I said at the top, is she's bleeding red now. So maybe that dream of her becoming human is already becoming true. And even if she didn't, she has Hiro who loves her unconditionally. She has all of the humanity that she needs. And I didn't see it at first, and I'll say it again. 02 probably is my best girl of this season. And she's probably going to etch her way into an all-time list because her development was so strong. And I didn't see it at first because everybody just liked her because she had pink hair and she looked cool and she had a cold as ice attitude. But we've seen that so many times. But to see what she's went through and see how she's developed, those are the type of things that build a foundation of making you an iconic character. So Vrem's plans to destroy the Klaxosaurs with their own weapon, and if they don't, they're just going to blow everything up. So that's in place, and the stakes are even higher now with 02 being injured, and the Klaxosaur princess is not only in danger of being caught up in this, she actually has Hiro in there with her too. So it's going to take the combined might of everybody, and I hate to admit it, but maybe even the nines, to get everything together, work together, and stop this star entity or whatever they'll have to do before everything goes to hell. And we got 4 episodes to do it, so let's see how this is going to go out. At this point, if we don't lose somebody by next episode, we're probably not, because then it's going to be a little bit too anticlimactic. Death Flag is still on Goro because, you know, he was giving Futoshi a little bit of shit about not being over Kokoro, so one of them could easily lose their lives, and I hope they don't. At this point, I really want everybody to make it through, but I'm a Gundam Universal Century veteran. I'll be completely fine if everybody met their end. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, guys. Definitely let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments below. Let me know some of your thoughts and theories. It is my absolute joy to talk about Darling In The Franxx with you guys every week. If you like the video, go ahead and drop it a like. And if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. There's not a shortage of content for you to indulge on this channel. As I always say, you guys can be anywhere on YouTube right now, but you chose to listen to me. I really appreciate that, so thanks for stopping by. On that note, it's your boy Scott signing out. See you soon.